and then graduate with a law degree out of Marquette. So I am actually somewhat better off in my life, which is, I think, what everyone in this room is striving for their children or for their grandchildren or whoever else. Right now, that is not the case. I think even though we focused a lot on schooling, there are other aspects. This administration currently has a lack of economic foresight. Part of what I've studied in economics has been observation that the two biggest catalysts to any economic growth are education and infrastructure. Education, the rates of people with higher education degrees, you have lower unemployment at about 4%. You have a higher quality of life, and you have higher rates of taxable income, which contributes back to the pot, which can pull other people up on that ladder of success, which is what the American dream is supposed to be. However, I am also somewhat advantaged because I was able to take advantage of part of our system in the UW system. I went to 2 years of school at UW Marathon County in Wausau at a very reduced rate, and then transferred to the University of La Crosse, where everything transferred over well, and paid basically a reduced rate for my general education requirements. I think when I graduate here in a month, that I'm going to have probably one of the lower ends of tuition repayment loans. And even I'm going to have somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 in debt. My parents have been able to give me some of that in paying off the interest on a loan ahead of time. However, I'm still going to be paying this off for 20 plus years. And I'm one of the lucky ones. We have an issue with a lot of things in education, that being one of them. We definitely need investments in education for the reasons I listed previously, that we can give people a success story to pick themselves up out of the gutter, like the example of my father, but we have to actually be willing to invest in that and find a better way of investing in that. At least for infrastructure, I'd like to just briefly touch on that. We are doing what I believe when this administration took over, we were 42nd in job creation or in economic aspects, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're now 45th. We've actually decreased. With any infrastructure, usually comes economic growth. I think part of the largest economic expansion in this country's history was around the same time we invested in the highway project under President Eisenhower. If you look around the state of Wisconsin, when we were heavily industrial, you'll find that most of it was around transportation methods. I come from the Wisconsin Rapids area, where we've recently closed paper mills. But if you look at the paper mills, they're all located on rivers. The city of Milwaukee grew up because it was on the Great Lakes. Same with Chicago, and Chicago eventually took over as the metropolitan haven that it is because of the railroads. Things spring up out of transportation, infrastructure, and all these other things. Every time we see a new highway project, you see a new strip mall off of an exit. Part of that needs to be addressed, and we need to actually invest in those things instead of doing pointless solutions that aren't actually getting us anywhere. And finally, we're rated incredibly poorly. I think there was a new report that came out that gave us an F for transparency in this government. And I think you can see the examples of it by having only four budget hearings. I thank the people that were capable to put this on for doing this for us. Thank you.